This is 5 Minutes of Political Common Sense for America. I'm Brian Boeheim, the political engineer. In today's segment, I want to ask the question, what is wrong with America? So many people want to complain about America. They say our government is too corrupt, our healthcare system is broken, our economy is bankrupt, and our wealth is unbalanced. They blame everyone and anyone they can. They point the finger, but not at themselves. It is my premise that the real culprits are you and me. Yes, the general population of this country has lost track of reality. We refuse to learn from history, and we want to ignore real issues until it's too late. To make my point, I want to talk about three fools who, in my opinion, are dumb, greedy, and selfish and exemplify the problem with America today. Let's start with Adrian Peterson. He is arguably the best running back in the NFL. As we all know, the NFL Players Union and the owners are once again battling over piles of money that you and I can only dream to comprehend. Adrian, when asked his opinion, told a reporter that the owners treat the players like slaves. He then tried to compare his situation to the teachers' union in Wisconsin, suggesting that they are also just like slaves. Are you kidding me? This guy gets paid tens of millions of dollars and he thinks he's a slave? How selfish and ignorant can a man be? Hey, Jesse Jackson, you need to sit down with this fool and educate him to the fact that a limo service and mansions weren't part of the compensation package for the average slave. Now, let's move on to Reid, who actually had the gall to say that we need to ignore the collapsing Social Security program and instead we should wait a couple of decades before we do anything about this issue. Harry, are you so politically irresponsible to think we should wait for it to collapse completely before we take action to fix it? We are currently borrowing money to keep it solvent. It's already bankrupt. This is a perfect example of what we see over and over again. No one wants to do the hard work, working to fix potential issues before they explode into a tragedy. New Orleans not investing in functioning levees, home loans given to people with no credit, a porous southern border, they're all examples of things we ignored until it became a horror story. How's that worked out for us so far, Harry? Finally, Rand Paul jumped on board with Harry on leaving Social Security alone. A libertarian defending an unconstitutional federal program that is bankrupt. It must be snowing in hell. Rand, you should be backing a bill to slowly unwind Social Security into private accounts. The system is a Ponzi scheme, and you should be leading the charge to dismantle it and, in turn, cut the national debt in half. Yet, Rand, you are so selfish that you're focused on votes instead of what's right. You and Harry deserve each other. These three fools exemplify the issue, but the real problem is us. We are too selfish and short-sighted. We want our cut, and we forget how hard our ancestors had it. We forget that there was real slavery not that long ago. We forget that there was real hardship not too long ago. We want to ignore the dangers and perils of tomorrow, too. And for what reason? So we can get the goodies of today. We don't want nuclear plants or refineries nearby, but we want cheap electric and gasoline. We refuse to build an electric power grid, but we want solar and wind energy to work. We ignore bridges that are dangerously outdated, then we're shocked when one collapses. We turn a blind eye to sewer and water systems that should have been replaced decades ago, yet we wonder about increasing levels of cancer and autism and other neurological diseases and issues. We want and we want, but we consistently are too greedy and selfish to do the hard work to make it come true. We will ignore things until we have another tragedy, and then we'll scratch our heads wondering, what happened? We need to stop pointing fingers and pointing blame, and we need to look in the mirror and realize the problem may just be us. You've been listening to 5 Minutes of Political Common Sense for America. I'm Brian Boeheim, the political engineer. If you like what you've heard here, go pick up a copy of my book, Political Common Sense for America. You can find it at Amazon.com. Until next time, be safe out there.